But the excitement he brought to this little track in East Boston to Suffolk Downs is still felt here. And the colors that Cigar carried to victory, the colors of his owner and breeder Alan Paulson, are here still in the winner's circle. Hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to the Massachusetts Handicap Day, a day of great history in this area. It has seen some of the magic names of the turf perform and win here. Seabiscuit, Whirlaway, Riva Ridge, the local favorite Wacoit, the great speedster Lost Code, and of course Cigar. Here are our race conditions for the 1997 MASCAP. It is a grade 3 event, thoroughbreds 3 and up. The distance, 1.1 miles, 9 furlongs. The purse, $300,000 added. You know, the management team here at Suffolk Downs is one of the most innovative in all of racing, led by Lou Raffetto. They came up with a bonus payout system for those horses that have won graded stakes races and then come to accept the MASCAP challenge. Here's how it breaks down. If you win 3 grade 1 stakes and the MASCAP, you get $500,000. All the way down to winning any graded stake means you get $225,000. That's one of the big reasons why there are 4 grade 1 winners in this field today. And think of this, only one other race the entire year to date has had 4 grade 1 winners. That was the $1 million Santa Anita Handicap. But now to meet the grade 1 winners and the rest of the field, let's go to the paddock to my colleagues Dave Johnson and Boston's own Bob Newmeyer.
And in the last 2 years here, we've had a procession and a coronation, both for Cigar. But Bob Newmeyer, we've got a good horse race today, but a lot of question marks.
Not so much, Dave, questions of talent, but I think of fitness and readiness for this race today. Even a question with a favorite. He is Skip Away. He is a legitimate favorite. He is the horse to beat. But here he is in the yellow cap chasing Gentleman. This is the Pimlico Special a couple of weeks ago. This was a huge race. Smoke coming out of the computers of all the speed figure guys from coast to coast. The question is, did this race take any of the energy out of Skip Away? We know it did, Gentlemen. That's why he's not here today.
There's a big question around Will's Way, too. Who can forget what he did last August at Saratoga? Will's Way with the white cap winning the Travers. That's Louis Couture's the Preakness winner on the inside, and our old friend Skip Away, who eventually became the 3-year-old champ on the outside, who will finish 3rd. Will's Way ran 2 clunkers in the fall of the year, was put on the shelf with an ankle injury, but he's back this year. He had an allowance win last out, but is he back at this company? That's the question.
And questions, too, about other secondary contenders like Formal Gold. He beat Skip Away in Florida earlier this year. Then he got a little leg weary. They've laid him up, freshened him up. Is he ready today? And then, of course, there's Geri from the Bill Mott, Alan Paulson connections, and he was terrific last year. He ripped off 5 or 6 in a row. They called him Cigar Jr. at that time. He hasn't won since. A question on Geri as well.
We've mentioned 4. There are 6 in the field. Let's take a look at the post positions with jockey assignments. We start with a couple long shots. Pro Lanzier, who was 3rd in this race last year with Rudy Baez, and the 2-horse, another long shot, Topsy Ropsy with Pollockheim Bruno. The morning line favorite from post 3, Skip Away with Shane Sellers. Will's Way with Chavez in the 4-hole, and then Geri with a new rider, Chris Antley, and Formal Gold picks up a new pilot. Jerry Bailey is aboard at 5-2. So there we go with the horses. What about the track bias? You've been watching them today.
They're running quick times, but it is a very fair racetrack, and I think we're going to see a very well-bunched field, Dave. A lot of these horses have the same running style. This is going to be a real chess match for some of these riders today.
And a nice trend for Skip Away. The last 4 winners of the MASCAP have been the favorites. Chris?
13 live races on the card today, worth more than $1 million in total. The richest day of racing in New England history. We're coming back to show you wire-to-wire coverage of one of the rich events. The $200,000 Suffolk Downs Breeders' Cup is next on MASCAP Day from East Boston. 50-car rental racing across America. Presented by Visa. Well, there's Paul Revere on the most famous horse in Boston until Cigar came last year. And look at this crowd, upwards of 17,000, maybe over that here on a beautiful afternoon here in Boston. The MASCAP Day featuring a total of 6 stakes races. We're going to show you wire-to-wire coverage of one of the earlier ones. The 9th race on the card, the Suffolk Downs Breeders' Cup Handicap. The first $200,000 guaranteed, 6 furlongs, thoroughbreds 3 and up. Bob Newmeyer has the field.
Speed, gas, call it what you will. These are the sprinters. Open the gates and blast off, and because they're giving away a whopping $200,000 today, We've attracted quite a nifty field of 7 for this 6-furlong dash. Let's run them down. As Chris pointed out, this race took place about an hour ago. A couple of local hopefuls, Buffalo Dan and Twinkle. A little Valid Expectations won on the pre-Derby card at Churchill. Strongly back today at 5-2. Irish Marriage scratch to run in New York this afternoon. Smooth the Loot, a shipper from Woodbine with George Chavez. Big Longshot, Saratoga Ridge. And then Meadow Monster. This was the horse to beat in this race. Problem with Meadow Monster at even money, he had 10 months of downtime to question his fitness for today's run. And the familiar combo of Mott and Bailey on the co-choice Western Fame. This a 6-furlong dash. Dave Johnson with the call.
And they're off. And from the inside, Valid Expectations gets the early jump. From between horses, Smooth the Loot. Along the inside, look at Buffalo Dan charging up at the rail and grabbing the lead. It's Buffalo Dan drawing clear by a length. Valid Expectation second, then Smooth the Loot between horses third. Bailey has Western Fame on the outside in the green and white colors fourth, just 2 off the lead. Then the big roan, Saratoga Ridge at the rail is next. The favorite, Meadow Monster in the purple colors alongside, second last at this point, but only about 4 from the leader. The distant trailer is Twinkle a Little. They're midway on the turn. On the inside, Buffalo Dan leads it by a head. Valid Expectation second, and Western Fame from Billy Mott's barn charges up on the outside. Meadow Monster beginning a move on the far outside, straightening away in the lane. Western Fame on the outside puts a head in front. Valid Expectation second. Here comes Meadow Monster in the middle of the racetrack, and down the stretch they come. It's Western Fame with Geri Bailey drawing clear. The battle is for the place spot. It's Western Fame winning it. Meadow Monster second. Valid Expectations third. Final time 1:08 3/5.
And that 1:08 3, just 2 ticks off the track record set by Canal some 30 years ago. Here's a classic 3-wide sweep by Geri Bailey in the green and white silks with the white and green cap. And look at him outkick Valid Expectations. The big favorite, Meadow Monster, tried hard in the far turn, and he would outkick Valid Expectations for the place position. Western Fame unfortunately hurt his foot in this run. He was vanned back to the barn. He has had a nagging injury to that foot, but reports are that he is A-OK. So a smashing win for Western Fame and a 680 mutual payoff. The big favorite ran second. The public here at Suffolk Downs did an excellent job of handicapping this race. Favorites run 1, 2, 3 in Western Fame, the second choice winning, and the full order of finish for the Breeders' Cup Dash. There you see it. Buffalo Dan finished fourth. Twinkle a Little, Saratoga Ridge, and Smooth the Loot finished last in the sprint. Chris?
Well, Bob, when we come back, we'll give you, all race fans, an update on the Horse of the World cigar and a very special guest here at Suffolk Downs. So stay with us for our MASCAP coverage, and what a great memory that is. Cigar coming down the stretch of the MASCAP. Downtown Boston, it's been a beautiful spring weekend here, and they've really looked forward to this. Been kind of a rough winter, and then no spring at all, they've said, but we came to town, and here comes another star to town. This is Skip Away, the 3-year-old champion of last year, as he makes his way from the barn area to the front side here for the MASCAP. And if you folks don't have the first 24-hour all-sports news network, of course, we're talking about ESPN News, you need to call your cable operator or satellite program provider for all the latest sports news highlights and live press conference. That's ESPN News. Let's give you the first look at the current odds here at Suffolk Downs. You heard Bob give the handicappers a little tip of the cap. They are good handicappers here, and they love the chalk play. Take a look at this now. Skip Away and Will's Way right now are both listed at even money. Then the third choice will go to Formal Gold, and the fourth choice would be Geri. Well, Cigar, when he was at the Massachusetts Handicap for the last 2 years, left here with $1,050,000. As you see, his stablemate of a year ago, Geri. Cigar left not only a lot of money in his pockets, his owners did, from the MASCAP experience, but he also, of course, left a lot of great racing fans here in New England. For all of them and for all of you race fans of the Horse of the World cigar, here's an update on him now. When he retired on October 31st as the all-time leading money earner, just $150 shy of the $10 million mark, Cigar had been syndicated as a stallion for $25 million by owner Alan Paulson and the famed Coolmore stud of Ireland. After trying to breed unsuccessfully more than 30 mares, it was confirmed that Cigar was sterile. Still, veterinarian Phil McCarthy has hope.
Some people feel that the horse has got a congenital infirmity, so that there's something wrong with the production of sperm cells. I'm not sure whether that's the case or not, and I think we'll have to just have a look at the horse in the future to determine that.
On May 21st, Cigar was moved to Watercress Farm in Paris, Kentucky. Generali Insurance that paid off on the $25 million sterility policy has now taken over Cigar.
We are hoping that in time and with the expertise of vets that these can be overcome and the horse can be turned into a working stallion in the future.
We'll keep you updated on Cigar. Here's the guy that smiles every time he hears the name of Cigar. Lou Raffetto, Executive Vice President of Racing here. And really, Cigar was a big part of turning things around here, Lou. But is there life after Cigar at Suffolk Downs?
Well, I think today proves that there is. We sought to develop credibility for Suffolk Downs and NASCAR within the racing community and within the local community. And I think if you look around today, you can see that we've done that. We proved it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a one-year happening. And we thought the best way was to build on that, to develop a card that would generate interest all around the country. And today you're going to see a record handle here of over $6 million as a result.
We're going to take a look at some of the activities that have made this more than a race. It has now become really an event for the whole community.
Well, that's the concept. We really have sought to reach out to community, make new fans, change the image, and continue to change the image of this facility from what it was in years past. And the concert that we had on Thursday night was a great success, and I know a lot of those people are back out here today. That together with a lot of the first-time horsemen that have come in have just made it a very special weekend.
It's also special to be with you on Friday night as the guests of Suffolk Downs, the beautiful cruise of Boston Harbor. Always something that folks and the horsemen enjoy.
Well, it's become legendary in 3 years, and I think the consensus is we'll have to keep doing it and hopefully just make everything grow from this point on.
Thank you, Lou. The fans have been shouting to Lou. Congratulations, Lou. Great job, and they deserve it here at Suffolk Downs. Over to the paddock now, and Bob Newmeyer with a real sports personality here in Boston.
Yeah, gentleman who just happens to be the new president and coach of the Boston Celtics. This is Rick Pitino, and this was his coronation, as it were, at the Fleet Center. And this is no exaggeration, folks. The Pope was in town here in the early 80s. There were more cameras, Rick Pitino, for your introductory press conference than there were for the Pope when he visited in the early 80s. And some would suggest that it's going to take perhaps divine intervention to turn these Celtics around.
I need the Pope very much. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's exactly what I wanted at this stage in my life. It's the most storied franchise in all of basketball, and I'm looking forward to the challenge tremendously.
I think this would be an excellent forum, Rick, to disclose your draft 3rd and 6th selections. Keith Van Horn, Ron Mercer. Who's it going to be?
We're going to take at number 3, and this is a scoop. I shouldn't really say, but we're going to take Austin Crocier at 3 because he's a Providence College graduate. Now, I'm here with the AD of Providence, John Marinato, but Austin, we worked that. No, I don't really know at this point. I'm not sure if we'll even have a draft pick come draft time. But
you might trade, huh?
We might trade, but we might not. So we really don't know. We're bringing all the guys in. We're working them out. And certainly we may move up, we may move down. At this point, we don't know.
You're a horse guy. We've had you on Churchill on the big Derby days. You own horses. You're an enthusiast. You're here to enjoy a great day at Suffolk Downs. A selection, if you please, for the Massachusetts Handicap.
I'm a lot different than you because we cannot get the chalk off your teeth in every race the way you pick those 4 to 5s and 6 to 5. Now, I'll go with the local favorite, Mr. Murphy's horse. Formal Gold. Is it Formal Gold?
Formal Gold is the local horse, and yeah, I would anticipate that even though I might go for the chalk, that you would
back him up with your chalk, Skip Away. But Formal Gold on top would Skip Away. I love Jerry Bailey and Change Sells both, but I'll go with Formal Gold on top to stay with the local favorite. You'll go away from Boston, and you'll go with the chalk.
This from the future senator of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Rick Pitino. Chris?
Well, they knew that he owned the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and believe me, he's got a big start on the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as well. Rick Pitino will present the trophy for the MASCAP today.
The USS Constitution here in that sits atop, I should say, right on the Boston Harbor here in beautiful and historic Boston. We had a chance to chat with Shane Sellers just a minute ago as we update the odds for this Mass Handicap. And really, some surprising betting patterns have emerged, at least surprising to me, in that Will's Way is getting pounded at the mutual windows. No surprise that Skip Away is the favorite, but I had Will's Way penciled in as the third choice in this race. And apparently a lot of folks like this Travers Stakes winner from last year at 6-5. He is our second choice. And Chris Lincoln, that's a big surprise to me.
Well, you say these are pretty wily handicappers here. As you look at Shane Sellers with his trainer, Sonny Hine. He, of course, will be on Skip Away, talking over. And Sonny's been a little vocal about Shane's rides the last couple of times. So a little bit of more pressure on Shane Sellers this afternoon to perform with Skip Away. He is yet to win this year. Last year's 3-year-old champion. A lot of excitement, of course, about the Visa Triple Crown. As you well know, 1 week from today, the Belmont Stakes. Visa announced earlier this week they're giving a bonus of $5 million should Silver Charm sweep the Triple Crown. He could become a $7 million horse by this time next week should he win the Belmont Stakes. Let's give you an update, though, on the Visa 3-year-old point standings. Will be going on throughout the midsummer, all the way through the Travers Stakes. And the leaders right now have been the leaders all season long. Silver Charm on top. The recently retired Captain Bodgett second, and Freehouse third. The Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association in Gainsborough Farm every month select their owner of the month in thoroughbred racing. And for the month of April, the owner selected is George Strawbridge Jr., a gentleman who has made such a name in steeplechase racing and the flats as well. Playing a big part of that award is homebred 5-year-old mare Powder Bowl, winner of the Black Helen at Hialeah. Well, earlier this afternoon, she was in action here at Suffolk Downs. The 10th race, the Drum Top Handicap. It's fillies and mares going 1 1/16. Powder Bowl would not do it this day, running 5th. But going for home on the lead, Gasfinder, trained by Jim Toner, ridden to victory by Geri Bailey. Geri's second victory of the day. Gastronomical wins the Drum Top at Suffolk Downs. We'll be right back with the Mass Cap. Geri Bailey, of course, has won this race the last 2 years. Here he visits with Will Perry. He'll be riding today his Formal Gold, and owned by local man Jack Murphy. And Dave Johnson's got much more on this local home team story. Dave?
Well, Formal Gold has never raced here at Suffolk Downs, although he's third choice right now at 4-1. But the owner and the trainer are certainly no strangers to this track or to the winner's circle here. The trainer of Formal Gold is originally from South Carolina. He's a true gentleman, and he certainly knows how to get a racehorse ready to go to the races. Local boy makes good. That's the best way to describe Bill Perry. For 20 years, Perry was the leading trainer in New England. Now based at Monmouth Park in New Jersey, he's back at Suffolk Downs this week with Formal Gold, one of the favorites in today's Mass Cap.
It's nice to be back. I kind of miss Boston. I stayed here a long time. I've seen a lot of people this morning already that I haven't seen in a long time. It's like a homecoming. So to run in this race and even have a shot to win it, it'll be great.
But that's all you're getting. No, see the foot? If Perry sees this on the film tonight, me feeding him all his carrots, he won't talk to me.
The other half of Formal Gold's Boston connection is Quincy's Jack Murphy. For years, Jack labored as an iron worker in Boston before going out to seek his own fortune. Jack Murphy's steel company built many of the buildings that make up Boston's skyline. He built his steel and his horse business from the ground up.
I started in the steel business with $2,500. And, you know, we've done some of the biggest jobs in the city now, so the first horse I ever owned, I owned with that gentleman over there, and I think it was he was worth about $4,000, and I owned half of them. So, to this guy.
This guy, of course, is 4-year-old Formal Gold, bought at public auction for $75,000 as a 2-year-old. The son of Black Tie Affair has been halfway around the world and back again, scoring his biggest win over Skip Away in this year's Donn Handicap.
Formal Gold running a huge race this afternoon to defeat the 3-year-old champion Skip Away. Formal Gold goes wire to wire to win by a length.
It's nice to have a grade 1 next to your name. Absolutely. It was very thrilling and enhances the value of the horse. And I'm sure it made Mr. Murphy very happy.
And Mr. Murphy is very happy. And this week, he's the prince of his city.
I've lived in Quincy 10 years and go up, get my papers every morning, nobody even knows me. All of a sudden, I'm a celebrity because of the horse, you know, and everybody feels the same way. They want him to win. He's a local horse. They want him to do that. And it's nice to know that, you know, it's your horse and everybody's pulling for him. It comes around nice, you know.
Well, look on the board as Joe Kelly, the famous feel-good, finishes his little musical selection here. Formal Goal comes to the racetrack, and he is now the third choice at 4-1. Back with the post parade. Thrifty Car Rental, racing across America, presented by Visa, brings you the post parade for the 58th Massachusetts Handicap. Prolanzier, front-running local hope, who ran third in last year's MASCAP. The 7-year-old making his 54th trip to the post. Rodolfo Baez, the jockey, won 6 in a row yesterday to set a record at Suffolk Downs. He's their top jock. The number 2 is Topsy Robsy. This is a gelded son of Topsider, owned by Hobo Farm, trained by Hall of Famer Alan Jerkins. Grade 3 winner from New York, runs best on the front end. Paula Keim Bruno is the jockey. This young lady can do the lightweight. She's carrying 111 pounds. There is the champion, number 3, Skip Away, owned by Carolyn Hine, trained by her husband, Sonny. The 1996 3-year-old champion has not won since beating Cigar in last fall's Jockey Club Gold Cup. 0 for 4 this year, but never worse than third. Looking for redemption today. Shane Tellers, one of the top jockeys in the country, is on Skip Away. Will's Way, owned by Bill Clifton Jr. of Waco, Texas, and trained by Harold James Bond. Defeated Skip Way, winning the TRAVERS Stakes last year in Saratoga, coming back after having a chip removed from his ankle with a very impressive allowance win in New York in the fastest time so far of the meeting there. George Chavez is the rider. The 5, don't get excited. Those are Alan Paulson's colors. That is not Cigar. This is Geri, his one-time stablemate. Alan Paulson's Geri, trained by Bill Mott, the 1996 Oaklawn Handicap winner, when at that time he was on a 4-race win streak, considered second only to Cigar. Looking again to bounce back to winning form today, Chris Antley, former Kentucky Derby winner, is in the irons. Here's the local horse of Jack Murphy's, number 6, Formal Goal. Formal Goal's first race this is now since we were with him in Dubai when he ran 5th in the Dubai World Cup. Of course, he started the year upsetting Skipway in the Grade 1 Donn Handicap. Jerry Bailey, first time on Formal Goal, but he's been in the winner's circle the last 2 times in the Massachusetts Handicap. There is the field for the MASCAP. Skipaway, the only one in the field that would qualify for a $500,000 prize money because he has 3 Grade 1 wins. Will's Way, Formal Goal, Geri would all get $350,000 should they win. And Topsy Robsy, $225,000. We'll be back in just a moment. We're 5 minutes to post. The Massachusetts' most famous race, in fact, New England's most famous race, the Massachusetts Handicap. Reminder, more horse racing action on ESPN 2 coming up tonight. We'll have the Trotters and the Pacers in action, the American Championship Harness Racing Series, 10:30 Eastern, hosted from Woodbine Racecourse in Toronto, Canada. Take a look at the odds board. The current odds are at Suffolk Downs. You see the starting gate set at the 8th pole here for this 1 1/8 Mass Handicap. And the folks still like Skipaway at 4 to 5. You see Will's Way at 8 to 5 and Formal Goal 7 to 2. Geri, the 4th choice, at 8 to 1. But Will's Way getting a lot of play here, Bob Newmeyer, and you've got the man who probably has created most of that. James Bond, his trainer, thinks he's got a good one today.
Surprising to me that Will's Way is being bet as hard as he is. Jim Bond is with us, and maybe there have been spies hanging around your barn in New York watching this horse work, because this kind of action surprises me. How about you?
Well, I really like this horse, and probably, I mean, I've got too big a mouth, but bottom line, this horse has been just training fantastic. His last race was just the easiest kind of win, and it was the fastest time run at Belmont, I think, so far this year. And he's just coming into this race as good as he possibly could. So I'm excited, and I guess my excitement rolled over to the fans here. But keep him hoping for a little racing luck, and I think he'll be right there.
I'm going to take a look at Will's Way and his most recent allowance. This is at Belmont Park off a layoff, and tell us about this effort.
Well, like I say, it was, Georgie was instructed to try to keep him clear and just get a good work out of this horse if he could. The Mascap's been on our mind for about 3.5 months now, and here we are today, so we're going to find out. But he got the job done, came back real well off of this, physically, mentally, and I think it was a good encouragement type race for him to get him back focused.
Any significance in the front wraps in this race that you didn't have on last year?
No, I tell you, I ran him in the Jim Dandy with it. Was very happy, took him off, of course, won the Travers with him. And, he did have an ankle problem, had ankle surgery, and I just want to give him a little more support. And doesn't seem to slow him down too much, so.
Well, a lot of the fans have given your horse a lot of support. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jim Bond, the trainer here of Will's Way. And so now, without further ado, one of the highlights of our weekly features, today's Budweiser Longshot. Sorry, James Bond and Will's Way, because we're in Boston and because we know how many folks like that good baked stuffed lobster. We're going to shoot the moon with a Budweiser Longshot. We don't think Skip Away can lose here today, so we're going to give you a trifecta key of Skip Away over the combination of Geri number 5 and Formal Gold number 6, and then reverse it back with Skip Away over Formal Gold and Geri. No disrespect or bad luck to Will's Way, but maybe being overbet. The big value today in the Budweiser Longshot, a trifecta key with Skip Away. That's our Budweiser Longshot. Chris?
Thinking of that baked lobster, I know Sonny Hine enjoyed it at Joe's Aquarium the other night. He loves his lobster. Skip Away, of course, has a chance to add to the great history of the Mascap. In the 57 previous runnings of this race, there have been 2 winners that have gone on to sire winners of the Mascap. Today, Skip Away will try to make his father proud.
It was 11 years ago, 1986, that Skip Away's sire, Skip Trial, won the Massachusetts Handicap. Sonny has already seen the son duplicate the father in big races before.
He won the Ohio Derby like his father, and he won the Haskell like his father. So it'd be nice to have him win this race and get him reestablished. He had been on top through the polls all winter, and now he's down there in 4th, so we got to move him back up. He's just a hard-trying colt. When he runs 3rd, people wonder what's wrong with him, You got to remember, ever since last winter, a year ago, he's been 1, 2, 3 all the time.
Skip Away, the 3-horseman number 1 here with the betting public at the Massachusetts Handicap. He is now at 4-5. Let's get some of the keys to this race, though. Dave Johnson with our thrifty keys to victory.
Well, the key word in this race is speed. Speed is the key word here as we take a look at these 6 horses getting ready to load into the starting gate. The long shots in the field, Prolansier and Topsy Robsy, appear to be horses that have only one chance. Get to the front early and try and fend off all competition. So there's a lot of early foot today. That means that the other 4 horses will have to use their tactical speed to stay close. But staying close isn't good enough. You got to have something left, that last punch in the stretch. I expect Skip Away might be a little closer. Bob Newmeyer, how do you think the style of this race sets up? Bob? There's Skip Away right there, whose daddy won carrying 123 pounds. Skip Away carries 119 today, with Shane Sellers in the irons and Jerry Bailey wearing some new colors, Formal Gold in there. Of course, he's won this race the last 2 years. That's the view they have out of the starting gate. A field of 6 in the Massachusetts Handicap. $300,000 the basic purse, and lots of bonus money at stake. It's at 1 1/8 miles. Bob Newmeyer, you hooked up?
Yeah, Dave, I think there's a lot of pressure on Shane Sellers here this afternoon. We had him set up for an interview in the paddock, and Sonny Hine was critical of Sellers' ride in the Pimlico Special. Thought he floated him a little wide in both turns, and Shane was a little itchy to get to his horse and talk strategy with Sonny Hine, and I think there's some pressure on this young rider today, and that kind of sets up an interesting scenario, because if Sellers is a little bit sensitive about taking this horse outside, boy, I would look for George Chavez aboard Will's Way, and maybe Chris Antley aboard Geri, and maybe even Jerry Bailey to maybe try to pin this guy down on the rail, because as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, these horses have a very similar running style. I think we're going to see a very bunched field down the backstretch. I think we'll see Pro Lanzier, the local horse, take the lead with Rudy Baez. Formal Goal will be in the second flight, and I don't think there's going to be more than 2 lengths separating Skip Away, Will's Way, Geri, and Formal Goal down the backstretch. So keep your eyes on the jockey tactics here in this race and see if Bailey or Antley or Chavez try to pin Sellers and Skip Away on the rail, particularly with Shane being sensitive to the criticism about floating him wide in the Pimlico race. So that's part of the strategy that may unfold here this afternoon. Again, here's the Pimlico special. Again, you see the gray Skip Away floated 3 wide into the first turn. He ran virtually the entire race on the outside of the track, ran a tremendous number off this wide run on both turns. 3 wide first turn, 3 wide second turn. He's going to chase home Gentleman in this very, very quick and impressive Pimlico special. And so there is pressure on Shane Sellers here this afternoon. Don't forget, it was the same Sonny Hine who booted Jose Santos off this horse after the Travers last year. So we'll see how it unfolds. Dave Johnson?
And I think that so many times, a race with horses of equal ability, you find out that the key is the jockey. This could easily turn into a jockey's race, especially when you have such world-class riders that are here today. And don't forget the local guy. Rudy Baez won 6 in a row yesterday. Can you imagine 6 straight victories? I mean, he won with favorites, with price horses on the lead, coming from behind dirt and turf, sprint and long. The guy is really talented, but his horse does not seem to be with this field, especially the 4 on the outside. There's Skip Away, the gray moving into line. 4 to 5, the price on Skip Away right now. Followed into the gate by Will's Way, and there is Geri with Chris Antley. Of course, Billy Mott, who's trained Cigar to win the NASCAR the last 2 years, trains Geri. The 5 moves in very quickly and quietly, and we're just waiting for one more, and that's Formal Gold. A half dozen of them. Bounding Bass coast the track record at 147.3, and we're ready for the start. They're off. On the inside, Pro Lanzier broke to the rail, and Topsy Ropsy is right there. Those 2 up front, but Skip Away is close. On the outside, though, so now it's going to be Paulson Bruno battling on the front end with Topsy Ropsy, and on the outside, it's Skip Away and Shane Sellers. Those 2 in a duel up front. Just off them, Formal Gold is floated 3 wide, and Pro Lanzier with Bays on the inside is right there 4th. Then it's a gap of 3 lengths back to Geri, who's second last, and Will's Way is the trailer as this 6-pack moves to the backstretch. Topsy Ropsy on the inside leads it by 3 parts of a length. The first quarter in 23 and 2/5 seconds. Not that terribly fast. Skip Away is right there between horses, and Formal Gold on the outside is right there 3rd, just a length and a half from the lead. Pro Lanzier at 70 to 1 in the blue colors is racing 4th along the inside rail. 2.5 back, Will's Way is now second last, and at the back of the pack it's Geri. The half in 47 and 1. Going to the far turn. Skip Away on the outside, inches up and grabs the lead, but on the inside it's Topsy Ropsy right there. Those 2 dueling on the front end as Formal Gold inches up 3 wide with Geri Bailey to join the fray. A 1/4 mile to the finish line in the NASCAR. Skip Away leads it now, taking command by half a length. On the outside, Formal Gold to challenge. Middle of the racetrack, Geri is flying. Will's Way is between horses 3rd. And down the stretch they come. Skip Away at the rail. Formal Gold on the outside. Stride for stride. Skip Away with a short lead. Formal Gold on the outside. Here's the finish of the NASCAR. Skip Away by a head. Shane Sellers aboard for the victory. Formal Gold on the outside. What a stretch drive. And the final time, 1 minute 47 and 4/5 seconds. Only a tick, only a 1/5 of a second off the track record. That's some performance. Skip Away is back.
You're looking also, Dave, at the most relieved jockey in America. Shane Sellers had so much pressure on him, as Bob Newmeyer outlined for you. He'd been loudly criticized publicly here in the papers by his trainer, Sonny Hine. I'll tell you, Carolyn Hine, though, is stuck with her man. Shane Sellers, and look at the ride. This is the battle he was most concerned about with Geri Bailey, maybe the greatest money rider in the world today. But look at Shane Sellers and Skip Way. Shane, they're working with the right hand. Geri hand right now. He goes to the right-handed whip. To the wire they come, and it is Skip Way by a clear head there. Maybe even they'll give him a half a length. But Shane Sellers, I guarantee, is breathing much easier right now because the pressure was really on him this afternoon. Skip Away comes off the snide of 97 and does what his daddy did 11 years ago. He won the Massachusetts Handicap 11 years ago, 1986. His father, Skip Trial, came to the winner's circle of the Massachusetts Handicap. Now his son returns. And there is Sonny Hine, the trainer, and I guarantee you a relieved trainer. He'd been under some kind of pressure, a lot of criticism for Sonny this year, as his horse had gone 0 for 4. But Dave Johnson, I think you said it best. Skip Away is back.
He certainly is back, and he was back right from the start. It wasn't the cleanest of breaks. Let's take a look at them coming out of the gate. 0 in on the 3-horse there, and you'll see that he comes out and bumps with Will's Way, who then has a little bit of contact with Geri. On the inside, the two long shots, Prolanzier and Topsy Ropsy, were clear, and they were trying to get to the early lead, but Skip Away is put right into the early action on the outside. Then it was a 2-horse race to the wire as Bailey moved Formal Gold, who had been in a stalking position early, up alongside Skip Away. And Skip Away's carrying 119 to Formal Gold's 114, so 5 pounds more for the eventual winner. On the inside, does get the benefit of the rail ride, but he also gets the benefit of the flowers. Skip Away comes to the winner's circle in the 1997 Mascap. Bob?
With me is Geri Bailey, who rode the runner-up, Formal Gold. And Geri, boy, he gave you an honest effort here this afternoon. Agree?
He really did, especially taking into consideration that he went to Dubai, came back, and long trips. Very good effort.
I mentioned at the top that you might have had a strategy maybe to try and pin Shane in on the inside. Was that kind of swimming through your head? You never had a chance to do it, really, because he was in the 2-path sitting outside Topsy Ropsy.
That was exactly what my plan was. You'd be a great jockey, Bob.
I don't think I can make the weight, Geri, but thanks for the compliment.
Didn't break well enough to do that, yeah. and Skip Away did break well, so it didn't materialize that way.
Yeah, and then in the turn, I mean, down the stretch, boy, this is head knocking, eyeball to eyeball kind of stuff.
It was what you call just a good old-fashioned horse race, and both horses tried well.
All right, Geri, thanks an awful lot.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, Geri Bailey on the runner-up here in the Mascap. Formal Gold. Chris?
There is Skip Away. The last time he was in a winner's circle was after he defeated the great horse Cigar, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, last October. Welcome back to the Massachusetts Handicap. It is now official. Skip Away, 340, 220, and 220. The favorite wins it. Formal Gold in a great stretch run as Skip Away reverses his loss to Formal Gold in the Donn Handicap earlier this year. And Will's Way, getting a lot of play, finishes for the show spot. Take a look now at the complete order of finish for the Mascap, and you see Geri got up for the 4th spot. Topsy Ropsy and the local horse Prolanzier, who was 3rd last year, is last this year. Bob Newmeyer's in the winner's circle.
With Shane Sellers, the jockey, and Sonny Hine, the trainer. And Sonny, you are the George Steinbrenner now of horse trainers. You dumped Jose Santos last year after the Travers, and a lot of talk that maybe Shane's job was at stake here today. Is that true?
Not really. Shane said so, but I hadn't made any other arrangements yet. Of course, if we got beat today, I'd have to think about it, maybe.
I know one guy who's relieved, and that is Shane Sellers, because you openly admitted to me in the paddock that you were a very nervous young man before this race.
Well, Sonny never said nothing to me, but, I mean, the horse keeps getting beat, and everybody's expecting him to be horse of the year, and, you know, everybody's putting the pressure on Sonny, and then naturally it trickles down to me, and, but this horse is just starting to come around, and we had a couple of bad luck races with him, that's all, and he fought hard today, coming off of a great race, and Mr. Sonny had him in great shape, and I'm very proud of him. Glad that I have him for one more race at least.
Well, this was a perfect trip, Shane. You just sat off that nice 47.5 behind Topsy Ropsy. You could have gone by him at any point in this race, I'm sure. And then it was a matter of out-finishing your rival and nemesis. Any extra satisfaction in beating Mr. Bailey here down the stretch?
No, I'm a big fan of Geri Bailey's. I've learned a lot from riding with him. He's a great rider and a great man and a great friend. And when I saw him next to me at the quarter pole, I was just, come on, Skippy, because don't leave it up to me and Geri Bailey. You need to pull me through here, and he did, and I was very proud of him.
All right, a happy Shane Sellers and an also richer Sonny Hine. Let's go back to Chris.
The win now split times 23-2, moderate first quarter. They picked it up some at the half, 110-4 and 147-4 as Dave Choi just a few ticks off of the stakes record here for the Mascap. And joining me now is the lady who is the owner, and she's the one who has to worry about the check. $500,000 for Carolyn Hine. And you told me you had a nice conversation with Shane Sellers in the paddock.
Yes, just prior to the race, I told Shane that in my heart, I felt that he was going to win the race today with Skip Away. And I said, you don't want to break my heart today. And he said, I'll try my best not to.
11 years ago, Skip Trial did it.
That was very exciting. Now to come back with his son, it makes it doubly great.
Carolyn Hine is heading to the winner's circle, and she's looking to get that check. Go ahead, Carolyn, get your check. I thank you. $500,000 to Skip Away's connections here. And we're looking ahead, of course, 1 week from today, the Belmont Stakes, and we will be busy with that. We'll start with a Belmont draw on ESPN2, delayed to 5 o'clock on Thursday evening. Then on Friday, the Silver Charm Special, a half hour with the connections of the horse, who, of course, has won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and has a chance at the Visa Triple Crown Challenge Sweep and a $5 million bonus. That special is 10:30 Friday night on ESPN2. Then stay tuned after that, a 1 hour special Triple Crown Challenge on ESPN2. Saturday, we'll repeat the Silver Charm Special, update a section of that with odds makers for you and the latest information on handicapping the Belmont Stakes.